Hi, Sandy Giroux here from Wow Place International. And I was speaking with a corporate leader the other day. We were talking about how he could connect better with his audiences in a public speaking situation by sharing some stories from his life and his career. But the talk inevitably turned to his leadership style as well as his speaking style, and he told me that sharing personal details and even praising his people were not something that he was very comfortable doing. But he had read somewhere that you're supposed to share things about your life and you're supposed to praise your people, so he tried it, only to get the absolute worst feedback from his staff that he had ever gotten in his life. And as we tried to figure out what might have happened, I did determine a couple of things that might have gone awry that I wanted to share with you today in case you're thinking of adjusting your leadership style as well to connect better with your people. First of all, he tried to be suddenly and instantly someone who he really wasn't. The change was too quick. And because it happened suddenly like that, they were instantly wary of his hidden agenda. And even though he didn't have one, his people perceived his actions not to be genuine because they weren't really authentic to who he was. And the second thing that happened was I believe he went a little too far in trying to praise his people. So if you're the kind of person who's very quiet and shy about that, suddenly coming on strong and overpraising also sounds like it's not genuine. I'm actually reminded of the TV comedy Everybody Loves Raymond, where Raymond's wife Deborah feels that she's boring, especially compared to Raymond's completely dysfunctional parents and brother. So one day, Raymond asks his family to go over and convince Deborah how fascinating she is, which they do, all at once in a big group all together. Well, Deborah sees through the deception and now feels even worse about herself because she's being patronized and pitied as being boring. When Raymond finds out what his family did, he says to them, "So you did it all together rather than one at a time, which would have been the smart, subtle way?" Well, the point is that you can't suddenly come on strong when you've never done that before. So if you're the kind of person who has never praised people before, rather than going overboard and fawning over them, "Oh, that was so wonderful and so great. You're so wonderful. I can't live without you." Just be very simple and subtle. "Hey, John, thank you for helping Susan with that accounting issue the other day. I appreciate it." Period. And leave it at that. Don't go overboard. I'm reminded of the story of the tortoise and the hare, where the moral of the story is slow but steady wins the race. Well, when it comes to changing your leadership style to connect more with your people, remember that slow but subtle wins that race. Thank you for listening. This is Sandy Giroux from Wow Place International. What is my wow gonna be? It's all about you, not all about me.